Hey out there, survivors, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Survive Interviews. Today, I am beyond excited and beyond delighted to be speaking with Gonzalo Martin, who is the voice of Sean Diaz in Life is Strange 2, a game that I'm currently playing on Twitch and crying to a lot. Gonzalo, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh my God, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Like, I am... A lot of my followers on Twitch have come on and just been like, is he still crying? Is he
Oh my God. Oh my God, he's still crying.
It's funny because I played Life is Strange 1 and I love that game. But then a few people, like, this is the same with everything. A few people reached out and were like, no, the second one's not as good. And I was like, that's weird because I have other people telling me it's the best video game ever made. So I'm not going to trust your judgment. I'm going to play it for myself. And
that's great.
Yeah, that's what I've always been. And I have to say, like, in a lot of ways, I think they're both incredible, but they're uniquely incredible. Like, there's a lot of things like this, like Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor. I can't say I prefer one or the other because they're so different.
Yeah.
And I think
of course.
With Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, for me, it's the exact same. It's like, they're such different stories. One is about a pair of brothers. One is about a young woman, like, and it's just a totally different...
It's a completely different story for sure, yeah. I mean, I love it, just the fact that, you know, most of the fans gave the second story a shot. That's what's important. You know, it's really tricky to do the second of anything, and the second movie of a first one, you know, people will have higher expectations, and if they're not met, you know, they won't really like it. But I'm very appreciative of everybody who gave it a chance and actually enjoyed the game. So thank you for playing.
And like I totally get that as well. It's like a second album. You know, bands always have that problem. If they come out, they have like a whirlwind first album that sweeps the world. Then like the second album is always like, oh crap, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
But I really do think that, like, from all I've seen with it, it's exceeded my expectations. I think around the start of episode 2, I was like, yeah, it's good, it's pretty good. And then by where I am now, as I told you up here, by episode 4, I'm like just riveted there. I didn't want to stop playing it. It was 4:00 in the morning on stream the other night, and I was like, should I just keep going? Should I just barrel through chapter 5?
Yeah, and episode 4 is the long one. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was about to call you Sean there. That's a testament to your performance.
Thank you.
Gonzalo, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and how you came to be part of this game?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you've said, my name is Gonzalo Martin. I'm originally from Argentina, and I came out here to LA about 5 years ago. I came to study acting, and after being in school and getting my training done, I started doing the different, you know, working visas inside the US to just stay and work as an actor. And eventually I got the audition for Life is Strange 2, which at first I had no idea that it was for Life is Strange 2. I thought it was just a voiceover audition. And I went there and I did my best. I didn't hear again from them for like another 6 months. And then 6 months later, I get another voiceover audition and I go and I do it. And then once I'm done with it, I very foolishly asked the director, like, hey, all of this material, like, I feel like I've read it before. Like, is it, you know, are you guys reusing it from somewhere? And he's like, no, this is your callback. I was like, oh, this was the callback. Oh, can we try that again? They're like, no, get out of here. We already got what we wanted. And that's when I thought, like, okay, goodbye to that opportunity. Like, you know, one of those auditions that you mess up. But it's always the ones that you think you're never going to get, the ones that you end up getting.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's how I came to be Sean Diaz.
That is amazing. And can I just ask, just out of curiosity, what age were you when you got that role? Like, were you quite young, or?
Question. I think I was at least 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2017 when I got it. So yeah, I was 21.
It was I remember, like, I didn't know a lot about the game before I actually played it. Like compared to Life is Strange 1, where everybody had kind of told me bits and pieces. People had said, with Life is Strange 1, they'd said, oh, she has the power to rewind time. You can do this, you can do that. It's about these two girls. They'd given me a lot of the information. I kind of knew nothing about Life is Strange 2 going into it. And one of the things that I thought was amazing was kind of like how it tackled a lot of like this. It tackled a lot of stuff that was going on in America at the time. And I was like, watching it now, they're playing it now in 2020. I was like, man, 3 years may have passed since this started development or whatever. But
yeah, but it's still super current.
Oh, absolutely. Like and I think that's why I cry so much, because I'm like, oh, this is too real, man. This is too real.
Yeah. Sadly enough, this is the reality for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And oh yeah, so when you got the call back and you came back and you found out, like I presume around then you found out it was Life is Strange 2.
I actually didn't find out until like a month before the game came out that I was working on Life is Strange 2. They wouldn't tell me.
Wow.
They thought that I was gonna blow the secret. You know, like gaming industry is super secretive about all their projects, and so like they wouldn't tell me. And I was like, come on, like it's coming out in a month and I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to promote it? And that's when they told me, like, you really don't know what game you're working on. I was like, no, we made you play Life is Strange 1. How can you not know you're making Life is Strange 2? And I was like, oh, that's what we're doing? Okay. So I'm doing Life is Strange 2. That's awesome. Like, there's a huge fandom in Life is Strange 1 already, so that's great. Yeah. But it also came with the, like, tough job and responsibility of, like, everybody. You know, the stakes were really high up and everybody was expecting a really good quality game. And most people loved it and some people didn't care for it. But, you know, we did our best and I'm happy with the results.
And I often think, and I don't want to generalize here, but I often think a lot of times when people say, oh, this game wasn't great or whatever, I often wonder sometimes, have those people gone past episode 2? Have they given it a chance? Because as I say, I remember in the earlier stages of it being like, yeah, this is good, but it's, you know, it's not setting my world on fire. It's good, but then you have to, it's like a TV show. The first couple of episodes are character building. They're getting to know everyone. Yeah. You have to stick with it.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you get to episode 3, 4, it's like, oh, damn. And I mean, do you know any, like, you know nothing about the game, right? So like there's no spoilers for you. Episode 5 is completely like brand new for you. You don't know anything.
I know nothing. Like, wow, absolutely nothing.
I'm very excited for you, honestly.
And I'm at the date of recording this, which we're recording this on the 20th of November, I'm finishing it on stream tomorrow. And I'm very excited because I had people say, like, when I finished up my last stream, they were like, oh, I am coming back for the episode 5 stream because we want to see how you do this.
Oh my God. Must be hilarious.
I will say one of the other things, I guess, that was maybe, like, as you said, there was that thing of, I'm in a sequel to this game and it's a beloved property. One of the other aspects I'd say that, you know, as a person looking for the outside in, it's like Life is Strange 1 again was very well known for having fantastic voice acting and voice cast. Right. Ashley Birch, who played Chloe, has gone on to like massive success in the game industry, and and I think that's got to also be like something that's like, oh wow, I'm kind of like in this franchise which has this legacy of like really strong voice acting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to be part of the franchise. Hopefully it brings more job opportunities for the future, especially in games and like the voiceover world. Definitely enjoyed it, and it's just so much fun. And yeah, I mean, it feels amazing to have been recognized with the BAFTA for my performance. So like, yeah, hopefully it does bring more opportunities, and it's not just a one-time thing, you know.
After your performance in it, I can't see that happening, just being totally honest. I am a filmmaker myself. I make like independent films, and like if I was a casting agent and I played Life is Strange 2, I'd be like, dude, we gotta get this guy and stuff. So I'll be singing praises from the rooftops about stuff, that's for sure.
Thank you so much.
So, I mean, I was going to ask if you knew of Life is Strange before you found out about the game, but you kind of said that they got you to play the game. But did you
Yeah.
have an inkling of it before that? Before even that?
I remember when I had just gotten, when the Life is Strange one had first released, I had just like got into the US, and I remember the huge banner poster being outside of my school, and I was like, wow, that looks epic. Like, what is that? Is it a movie? Is it a, and like when I found out it was a game, I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't really like big into games back then.
Yeah.
And so I knew that I was never gonna like play it. But I remember the Life is Strange huge banister poster, and I remember be like, when I saw that poster for the first time, funny enough, I remember thinking like, one day, you know, a job of mine is gonna be on that banner. You know, it's because it was right in front of Warner Brothers, and it was like a really cool location. And then when I found out that I booked Life is Strange 2, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I saw the band, like I remember years ago seeing the banner and being like, and I was very excited for it to like, okay, what's the banner for the second one gonna look like, and where are they gonna put it? And I was very excited to just go and get my picture where, you know, the huge poster in front of Warner was, but they didn't do any like print work, like market for Life is Strange 2. But still, I remember I saw it there for the first time. And then while we were recording Life is Strange 2, I was struggling with some lines of like the simple walking around and looking at object type of lines. And so Phil, the director, suggested that I play Life is Strange to get kind of a feel for what he's looking for in the lines. And that's how I played the first episode and the second one as like training. And then I couldn't play the rest of it just because I had to like go back into working and acting and all that. But yeah, I remember once they told me like I was like working on Life is Strange 2, I connected all the dots, and I was like, oh, this is why you had me play it. This is the thing that I saw years ago. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That's amazing. It's a little bit of that self-fulfilling prophecy thing of like, believe in it and you will get it. Like,
yeah.
It's a shame about the print banner thing. We're gonna have to do something about that. We're gonna have to just like the fan community will have to come together and just get a big banner done so you can get a photo in front of it. Because
don't worry about it. I've gotten pictures with banners at events and stuff like that honestly just made it feel as fulfilling.
Oh,
and
amazing.
The BAFTA itself just was like, you know, the peak of my career. So
it's one of the highest honors. Like, but even I love the image. The main poster image that I've seen for Life is Strange 2 is the one of Sean and Daniel with his hand out.
Yeah.
And it's just a powerful image. Like, just straight away, you're like, this looks amazing. I want to know. As you said, like the first game was Chloe and Max, and you were like, there was an intrigue there about like, I know nothing about this beyond the look of these characters, but I'm already intrigued and want to know more.
Yeah, and episode 1 of Life is Strange 1 definitely like, you know, gets you so invested in the already.
Yeah, no, big time. And I mean, to kind of segue a little bit, one of the things that I really appreciated about this game as well is that you have Sean and Daniel Diaz, two brothers, and they're Latino. And one thing I like is like, and it's very much integral to their characters. It's not just to, for lack of a better term, just kind of thrown on there as like, oh, they're also Latino. Like, it's embedded into their
core part of the story.
100%. And like, I mean, for me, I'm the type of person that I find character representation, especially in video games, which has been one of the areas that's been potentially the most lacking in that. I know films and everything are still catching up as well, but games have struggled with kind of people of color leads and things like that in the past.
True.
So for me, I really appreciated once I started playing this game that the culture was there, the characters were steeped in it. Was that how important was that for you?
Yeah, honestly, it was. I really appreciated the fact that like they cast me not because they cast me, but because they cast a Latin person for the role, which actually brought more truth to the character in itself, instead of just having an American person or another actor not necessarily Latin do the part. Sure, they could have probably done like an excellent job for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, the truthfulness of the culture and, the small nuances like Enano and stuff like that.
Yes.
Those are things that I feel very fortunate and proud that I brought myself,
Yeah.
that I brought in myself to the character, and that's because of my heritage and my culture.
Which it's phenomenal, and that stuff translates. This is the thing. Like, I mean, since I've started playing the game, I have two daughters, and I'll now every once in a while throw in an Inanyo when I'm talking to them. You know what I mean?
Really?
And it's like that's the thing about this stuff. It you can drip pieces of your culture into other people's culture, and then it becomes something that my daughters might end up saying in the years to come.
Right. Wow, that's crazy.
It's mad, and like it's funny because one of my closest friends is a filmmaker. She's a Latin filmmaker. She's from Mexico, living in Vancouver for several years. Called Gigi Saw Guerrero, and all of her work is steeped in Latin, Mexican culture, Mexican mythology, and she casts all Latin and Latino people, and it's just her work. It gives me something that like I'm so used to seeing the same stuff. The same 5 stories retold a different way. It's like, whereas I've never seen stuff about these Aztec characters and stuff that she tells stories about. And it's that's what we need. We need these stories.
Yeah, we need diversity for sure.
Absolutely. But I just think, like, and even like I loved, as I say, I have a friend on that comes in and watches my streams, and he's from Spain, and I think that I don't know if the dialects are slightly different and stuff, but he said in Anyo, he was like, does that kind of means like a dwarf or like small? Like that was what
right. Yeah, it's like little guy. Hey, little
guy. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
He was like, it was just funny because that was again the dialects are just that little bit different. He was like, I'm not sure what I think it kind of means. Like, I love that. I love that he was able to then share, even when Agent Flores is on the phone, he was able to be like, oh, I can tell you what she's saying. Like she's speaking to her daughter.
Right. Yeah. It's very. I like how diverse they went with Life is Strange 2. They didn't shy away from getting diverse, getting political, getting local on subject matters. Yeah. So I'm really proud to be part of a game that's such doesn't shy away and it's not scared to test the limits.
Which that's such a testament, like, because I mean, I don't want to I'm trying to avoid too many spoiler territories for people who haven't played the game yet, because I want everybody to friggin' play this game. I really do. I'm championing it. I got one of my friends to buy it last night. I was like, buy it.
Thank you.
I really am. I always say this, that like, if I like something, I like it. If I love something, I champion it. Like I go out into the world singing its praises. But yeah, there was a moment, and I won't get too specific about it, but I think it was in episode 4, at the very beginning of episode 4, and some really nasty stuff happens to Sean. And you have a choice in that moment to kind of, the only way I can put it without giving too many spoilers away is like kind of cower down, or to kind of keep stepping up. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I was like, I refuse to do this. Like, I refuse to, because I was so angry. As I say, once you see my streams or my VODs,
right,
you'll see that I'm like raging, and I'm like, I'm getting.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me to see the reactions of certain fans, because even I remember looking out for that specific part. I know that the like most heartbreaking like version of the story or performance is when Sean has to like sing for him, and it's really humiliating and it's not nice to watch, but most people was like, fuck this guy, I'm not singing for him. And I honestly was surprised. Like I was expecting for people to like be like, yes, just sing to get out of this, but yeah, I loved how everybody had their own like version of the story.
I legit, like, I was like hesitating on it for a minute, because I was like, if I pick the other option, he could like beat the shit out of me. And then I was like, but then I was like, I can't allow this to happen to Sean. I can't, after everything he's been through, I'm not going to let him suffer
Yeah.
that humiliation. Like, and then I had people in chat. It was great. Like, who had played the game, and they were like, "Yes, yes, at least thank you. Like, you went that route. You didn't do the yeah, like
Yeah. Honestly, it's very painful to watch the singing, for Sean. But at the same time, he does get the
yeah."
shit beat out of him. So
One quick question actually that kind of leads off that is normally when you get a role in a feature film or a TV show or a play or whatever, you're kind of told this is your character, this is his start point, this is his end point, and like you kind of there's a very traditional arc, I guess. With a game like this, what fascinates me for you as an actor, as a performer, is that there's so many versions of Sean that you had to play in this game. It wasn't. So how was that? How was the keeping track of that in your head?
to be honest, I had the easier and also tougher job in that sense, because like Sean, I had to record the 5 different options for everything. So it was very time consuming and very drainful. But the one who actually had to do the most different types of characters was Roman for Daniel.
Yeah.
Because he had to do, good Daniel, evil Daniel, Daniel getting influenced, and all these different type of things that are really contrasting performances. So he really had to go the distance to make those pop and make them different. I, on the other hand, didn't have to be such different versions of Sean. I had to be a little bit of versions of like the older brother that, whether, he tells him to do good or to do bad, but I didn't have like such a fluctuating, different type of moods myself. Yeah. But I did have to record everything 5 times in every single version. So it was kind of hard to track, like when we would record something and I was saying something that didn't really correlate to what we had tracked previously. It's like, wait, does this connect to this version of the story or to this other version? So it was actually pretty tricky to just jump around all over this place, recording such many different outcomes for the game.
And speaking of Daniel, who, as you say, Roman, phenomenal performance as well. Like out of a child actor, to see that, like, it's incredible. Like, it's such a strong performance. Yeah. I think it's a tricky one for him as well, because you have this situation where when I'm playing it on stream, you have people who come in for 10, 15 minutes, they see a little bit and they're like, oh, this kid's a brat, I hate him, what an asshole. And I'm like, you don't know what this kid's been through, man.
Right. Yeah. His performance was definitely showing all of that, all of those layers.
And I know that traditionally in voiceover, you're not necessarily in the same room bouncing lines, etc. Like often you're alone. But did you and Roman have any kind of, were you involved in kind of face-to-faces or?
So when we first recorded episode 1, we did have some dual mic sessions, which was great because it allowed us to like just know each other a little bit and get the feel of who we were performing with. But because of a matter of conflicting schedules and stuff like that, we didn't do it much, and we didn't do it again after episode 1.
Yeah.
But I did get to bond with him a lot and really get that brother relationship. Actually, once the game was done and we started going to PAX West and all these different game conventions, which was amazing. Best time of my life. And it was amazing to just hang out with Roman and like, I actually, though that was the moment where I actually felt like, oh shit, we actually are like little brothers, like older brother and younger brother. And we bonded a lot. We went, like, I took him skating to this park in London, and like, I don't know, it felt pretty cool to be bonding.
That's amazing. So you like really became like the Wolf Brothers. I love that.
Yeah, really, literally. And his mom was amazing, and she trusted me, trusted me taking care of him. He's also grown up, so like he doesn't need much taking care of, but yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah. One thing that I said on the last stream as well is that when Sean, when you have the choice to get a tattoo, I have a couple of tattoos. They're all video game oriented tattoos.
Oh, really? Nice.
Mario, BioShock, Zelda. I'm going to get a Life is Strange tattoo, and I'm going to get the wolf one that Sean gets.
Heck yeah. Wait, the one that Sean gets, or the one from the when something happens and it gets saved, the running wolves on the bottom?
No, I actually want to get the funky little cartoonish
Okay, I
wolf that
see.
Cassidy gives him.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's like a more rustic one, but pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's got that kind of. It's funny because again, without getting into too much spoiler territory, I really fell in love in a lot of ways with both the characters Finn and Cassidy. Like, I just thought they were both. I joked on stream that I said I think it's just the southern accent and kind of hippies. Maybe that's my thing. I guess.
Yeah, no, they're pretty amazing characters. Yeah.
And again, like, did you meet any of the other voice actors throughout the process, or was it kind of very much you were isolated? Or
actually, no, I didn't. I mean, the only time I saw the actress that played Cassidy was like one day that I was walking out and she was walking in to do her session. But other than that, we didn't get to meet with anybody. I didn't even get to hear their recordings to act off of that.
Oh, wow.
Like you just picture or imagine what they said, and you give your performance based on what you think is probably, and that's what the director is there for, to make the match. Phil is amazing.
That blows my mind, because I think again, like being a filmmaker, I get a lot of self tapes sent in, and that's effectively what a self tape is. You're asking somebody to just act with nobody else there and emote as much. And it's every actor is like, oh god, I hate self tapes, they're so hard because you don't have that feedback. But like that again is a huge testament to like the ability to just imagine the other end of the conversation and keep it going. It's phenomenal.
Right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've come a long way in voiceover. This was my first voiceover gig, and at first it was really hard. But now I feel very confident in the skills that I learned through this journey.
One of the reasons that I asked about the voice, did you meet any other voice actors, is one of the previous guests that I've had on the show, Nick Apostolides, he played Charles Erickson in the game. I didn't realize.
Which one?
In Charles, Chris's dad in the episode 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, and yeah. The Adventures of Captain.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And I did not know that when I interviewed him, and then I was playing the game, and I was like, "That dude sounds really familiar." And then I was like, "Oh my god, it's Nick!" Which it's happened in both Life is Strange games. I played the first game, and the dad in that, one of the dads in that, I was like, I know that voice, and it turned out to be a previous guest, Joe Ackman. I was like, okay, cool. All the
Life is Strange. That's so crazy, so cool, nice.
But yeah, I said it to Nick that I'm going to have to get him back on the show now to talk about Life is Strange, since we only touched on Resident Evil.
Right. That's amazing. I didn't know he was in both of them. That's so cool.
But as you say, I didn't know. I figured that it was probably the case that it would literally be passing in the hallways, if anything, because of the nature of the projects.
Yeah, pretty much.
What are some of your favorite memories from the making of the game? Like, and I suppose that doesn't necessarily, like what you were saying a minute ago, that can be the traveling to PAX West. It can be the BAFTA win. It can be whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Definitely traveling to London for the Golden Joysticks. That was an amazing ride, amazing experience. Everything pretty much, even the PAX West, like we did PAX West, and it was the first time I was ever at a game convention, and it felt amazing. And then I was invited as well to Switzerland to Zurich Game Show. And that was another amazing opportunity and adventure that came out of this game. But if I had to say, like in the booth, just the making of the whole game, it was kind of it was a roller coaster ride, because some days I would, get out there exhausted, and because the director had pushed me around all over the place.
Yeah.
Some of the days, like we would go get lunch together. Like it was quite a journey. And like I've mentioned in other interviews, I think that the most fulfilling day or moment in actually working on set on the studio was when I took Phil's advice of going to sleep on the street for character research. And actually, like when I came back into the studio and we started recording, I'll never forget. I just started nailing all my lines, which is something that I wouldn't do because I wasn't good. And Phil stopped the recording. He's like, "What did you do different this time?" And I was felt really proud of telling him that I had followed his advice and gone to the street. And it took me a while to convince him that I actually did it. But once he did believe me, I felt like that day was the day that, first of all, I started respecting him a lot more because I understood what he was looking for, and also he started respecting me a lot more as an actor because he could see and he could tell the distance that I was willing to go to like make this the best game ever. So yeah, that was definitely an amazing memory from making this game.
Well, that explains a lot to me about, again, being a filmmaker and a director, I always say that what I look for in an actor is the truth in the performance. Like, and that means that like in every performance, there should be a little bit of the actor and their real life experiences that just shines through. You're still a character, but there's got to be that moment where you're like, that felt like it was coming from the person, not the character.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of the like when the characters are sleeping rough and how tough it is and how rough it is. Like, I think the reason that is so emotional is because there's a reality to the voiceover there that it goes beyond just kind of like, oh, I'm going to go in here and pretend to be upset about this.
Which is what we did, or which is what I did at first. And clearly I wasn't getting the correct or the right performances. And that's how Phil ended up suggesting that I go hang out on the street. And he just pushed me so much that I was like, you know what, I'm going to go sleep in the street and I'll prove you wrong. But that definitely pushed me, pushed me to just try to get the best out of myself and make the best out of it.
And that is what, in my opinion, a good director's job is to try and push your actors to be their best possible selves, because the only thing it'll benefit is the end product.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. You're doing something that is going to last, a lifetime, because it's out there in the internet. You can download it forever. And if it's something that's going to last a lifetime, you better make sure that it's the best it can ever be.
100%. That is some solid advice right there. But you said that when you started out on this journey, like when you first got to the US and stuff, like you weren't much of a gamer, but like has that kind of changed for you? Have you, with the journey you've gone on, going to game conventions and stuff?
Yeah, a bit, for sure. I'm still not a huge gamer because I'm not good at it. Like, it's actually a skill that you have to like develop. It's not like you can just grab a controller and play a game. Like, it's an actual skill. That's why I prop every YouTuber and like gamer out there like yourself. But I do have so much more respect for the entire industry, for the entire process, for games in general. Like, I'll watch games trailers to like, really look into the work that went into games. And when I go to conventions, I just love it because it's also all types of games. There's board games, there's digital games, there's hobbies, and it's just a world to explore, to like dive yourself into and get lost for hours and hours and hours. And I think that's pretty amazing.
I will just tell you, though, that don't worry about it, because I've been playing video games for 35 years probably of my... No, that's wrong. 33 years of my 36 years on this planet. And I'm still not very good at them, so don't worry. Like, that's the whole selling point of my channel is I always say when I put out stuff, I'm like, come watch me be bad at games.
Oh my God. And you still get a huge following.
Well, I get... I don't know about huge, but I get a dedicated following. That's the important thing.
That's the important dedication to it. Yeah.
And it's funny because with Life is Strange 2, I put out, instead, I changed it from watch me be bad at video games to watch me make bad choices.
Yeah, it's all about the choices.
Oh, it's terrifying. You get such anxiety when you're presented with the choices in that game.
Yeah, I was just like watching some playthroughs and I was like, wow, they really get nervous with having to make the choice.
For me, it's always this thing of, we talked about it on the last stream I did of it with the chat. We talked about how like it feels sometimes like that no matter what choice you're going to make, it could lead to like a bad outcome, whether it's the good choice or the bad choice, and you don't even know which one's the actual exactly
good. Yeah I totally agree.
There's this fear. Yeah, you're like, okay, that's the right thing to do, and it's the obviously right thing to do, but what does that mean? What's going to happen 3 episodes from now based on that one choice I made? It seemed right.
Yeah, exactly.
But so kind of taking it away from Life is Strange for a bit, for a moment, like kind of looking at, as you say, like I personally, I reckon you've got a fantastic career ahead of you, just putting it out there, because as I say, I think there's an incredible truth to your performance. So if in a dream scenario, it doesn't have to be video games, even it can be movies, anything, like what would be like your dream role to play, of kind of existing characters in a franchise, or even just in a franchise?
Huh. Well, I would always like. I'd love to be an actor that gets on the opportunity to be like a superhero in a franchise.
Oh, yes.
But even if I don't, like, there's so many other styles of franchise that you can be in. Like, and even if I'm not a superhero in a franchise like Marvel, like I'd love to play the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to play a character like Jack Sparrow. You know,
Oh,
that's
yes.
another amazing franchise. Like I sail myself, and like I think my dream is to, I don't know, be in a movie that like a really hit movie that's related to like pirates or boats or something, you know,
Nice.
just actually related to the stuff that I love, and get to shoot a movie like that. That'd be awesome. But yeah, on video games for sure, I would love to be a superhero, because that definitely is just more about the voiceover, and not
Yeah.
necessarily so much the stunts and everything, which is super cool and I'd love to do, but at the same time, it's a risk, and
Yeah.
takes a lot of training, and it takes a lot of effort and time and all that. But yeah, it'd be cool to play a pretty like iconic character like that.
I mean, just putting it, when you said it just there, I just thought of me, I was like, I mean, the Joker, like, I think if you look at it, it's funny because one of his earliest on-screen portrayals was a Latino actor as well, like,
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
which again, I'm like, and then I was thinking about it, I was like, but I don't think there's been, like, since then there hasn't really been that portrayal of the Joker, and I'm like, that would be so cool. Like,
That would be interesting. I'd love to see that, do that.
yeah, yeah, that. So guys, you heard it here. It'll be kickstarting soon. Um, and in kind of like taking in the whole experience of Life is Strange 2, we talked about your favorite moment, but like, what have been some of the best things that have happened to you or come out of? Obviously, we talked about the award and stuff, but like even just to kind of put like words in your mouth a little bit, I guess, like in terms of fan interactions and stuff, like, and what has that been like?
I mean, it's been amazing, honestly. My following has grown quite a lot because of the game, and I'm just surprised at how hardcore video game fans are, which is pretty amazing. Like they're, you know, loyal to the core, and they'll be commenting and sending me messages, and liking my stuff, and I really appreciate it. I try to read all of the messages that I get, and try to reply to the ones that I can. But it's just very nice when I get a message of someone that says that, my work, or not even my work, but something where I had the opportunity to be a part of the making, because it wasn't just me, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Um, moved them, actually made them realize that, they were wrong about something, or like they it changed their mind, especially this game that is so politically
Yeah.
charged. Just when they say that, like, oh my God, I changed my way of thinking, or I didn't think of it this way or that is just very fulfilling in itself. And then the thing that I like watching the most is just fan playthroughs, seeing their reaction to specific parts of the game that I know that are like crushing. And so it's just very fun for me. And the worst part is, well, I'm looking forward to checking you out on YouTube. But the worst part is I'm running out of YouTubers that like play it. So like now I just have to like watch repeated videos that I've already seen. But I just love it. I love it whenever I find a new fan playing the game, playing through it,
Yeah.
and uploading it to YouTube. So I'm like, yeah, I get to I get to see them interact and actually see how the game made them feel, and that's a pretty amazing sensation that I had never had before as an actor, and it feels pretty good.
I think that is something that is incredibly cool, because I think going back to the comparisons with film and TV, you don't generally get somebody sitting down on YouTube and necessarily watching an episode of a TV show or a movie and reacting to it. So like those actors, I mean, obviously actors in big, like we said, Marvel or Netflix shows or whatever, they don't necessarily maybe need to see the reaction, but it's something that games have that I think that other medium doesn't have, is you as the performer, Nick Apostolides, whoever else, can watch a playthrough and be like, oh, that hit them exactly as I hoped it would, or, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You worded it perfectly. I mean, that's the one thing that I discovered about voiceover, or at least voiceover in games.
Yeah.
The fact that you can actually see how your work impacted them, and if it, if you did a good job or not. And like, I don't know. I like it. I really like it when I see other people crying. I'm like, yes, I can cry. Evil part of me comes out and it's like, yes, they cried. We did a good job.
Oh man, you're gonna have a blast with my playthrough. So it's just gonna be like, okay, just get out the scoreboard and just play. He is.
Yeah, honestly, I can't wait to watch.
I'm a big emo anyway. I get like, if I watch movies and stuff, I get very, if it's something powerful, if it's something, as I say, that feels truthful and hits me in a place, because I'm a total empath, right? So I always try to put myself in people's shoes. And so when I'm playing something like Life is Strange, and I'm even just, what did I say? Starting episode 4, I think it was. Yeah, I was like on stream and I was getting quite emotional. And I was like, Sean shouldn't have had to grow up this fast. Like, he should be at the skate park with his friends, and he should be, like just giving out about stupid shit. He's a kid. Like, he shouldn't, and people were like, geez, it's really getting to him. But it was that like, I put myself in his shoes and I was like, that would be horrible to have to grow up.
Yeah.
Be a 16-year-old that one day your biggest concern is, what am I going to bring to this party? And the next day is like, I'm on the run. I'm a fugitive in a country where people like me aren't treated fairly, like at all.
Yeah. Honestly, like I really believe, now that like you've mentioned it, it's really like fans like you that really, make us feel really fulfilled, and the real reason why we really strive to make the game great. Like, of course we strive to make it great for all fans, but like, I specifically like it when the gamer can disconnect from maybe, I'm just playing this game for the sake of it, or for people to watch it, and them actually like, no, I'm gonna fully like invest myself in this character, put myself in the shoes, imagining that it's me going through this circumstance. And when they really allow themselves to be vulnerable and like be themselves, and actually feel like they're living through this, that's when you can tell the real, the truth in people, and the how it really actually impacted them. And those are the fans that I really enjoy watching, because I'm like, yes, like, not only did we give our all of our efforts to make this game the greatest that it can be, but the fan also allowed themselves to give all of them to really get impacted by the game, instead of just playing it like it's nothing,
So true. And it's even on stream, I kept telling people, normally I'm very vocal and I'm very like chatty and joking and making fun, but when I was playing Life is Strange 2, a lot of the times I was like, guys, I'm really sorry, I'm not as chatty, I just really am sucked into this, I just gotta focus. And yeah, I think, as I say, I write and direct myself, so I think I always try to look at stuff that if I connect to a character, it makes me go, I can understand more about writing and get better at that. If I can connect to characters that, as I say again, Sean Diaz is not me, but he's not me in a lot of ways, in that he's a different cultural heritage even, but I can learn more about characters that I would never understand by being Sean Diaz,
Right.
But I just, I can't imagine what it's like to be on the side of something like a game like this, which has such an emotional arc that can really and genuinely affect people, but I'm going to say it one more time. It's a gigantic credit to you and all the performers. It's funny because the only character who I could not put myself in their shoes at all was Karen. I tried really hard,
It's a tough one to fill their shoes. Yeah.
And even chat were just like, no, this lady's reasons are not good enough, man. As I say, I won't go too far with it, but people were like, no, not good enough. Get her out of here. Like,
Yeah. Honestly, it was just like, oh, I was young, and it's like, what? How is
it's
that
not
even an
good
excuse?
enough.
Yeah.
It's like I was finding myself. No, no, that's not
Yeah,
good
no, you can't. No, it's no more time to find yourself when you've already had a kid, you know?
And it was really hard, but I kind of, for my own decisions in that part, I kind of extended an olive branch. But in my head, I was like, I am only doing this for Daniel. I am doing this for Daniel. That's
Right.
it. Because even everyone in chat were like, what are you doing? No. But that's another thing about these games is like they make you think about what you again, how would you handle it based on not just like the emotional response, but like
Right.
smart option, you know?
Yeah. No, it's an amazing game. Yeah, I'm really happy to be a part of it.
So to kind of as we start rounding this interview out, like I just want to briefly touch on again. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but like you won a BAFTA for your performance in this game, and I just want to say, as a filmmaker, especially like BAFTA, the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, that award is our Oscar. You know, this side of the world, and probably no, it's the whole world over. The BAFTAs are one of the most iconic and important awards in the world. So for your first performance in a video game, and for you to be a BAFTA winner of a lead role, that is exceptional. And I just would love to hear what that whole experience was like for you.
Thank you so much for all your recognition. It truly means a lot. I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I mean, when it happened, I was like, wait, is this even happening? And I don't know if you this backstory or not, but I kind of manifested the BAFTA happening, and I really manifested it. Before I left Argentina to come to study acting, on like my goodbye going away party with my family, I very stupidly said like, if in 5 years I haven't like won an Oscar or been nominated for an award like that, I mean, that's it. And I was so full of shit, and like I didn't even have the end to that sentence. I was like, that's it. That's it. What,
Yeah.
Like my in-law was like, what, you're going to kill yourself? Like, to show me how dramatic I was being and how stupid I was being. And I was like, yeah, no.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm being stupid. Yeah. That's when I realized like how stupid it was what I was saying. And I also had no idea what a competitive industry this is, and how actually it's really hard to, get nominated for anything, or, let alone a BAFTA or a big award. But anyways, I was foolish, and I naive, and I over talked, I put words in my mouth that I shouldn't have. But yeah, at the same time, what was crazy for me, it was that literally 5 years afterwards, on March of 2020, I got nominated for the BAFTA. And when I did, I was like, wait a minute. And I checked the dates, and it was exactly 5 years since I had said that. It was literally exactly 5 years since I had said that. And I was like, holy shit, I might be onto something, But then I was like, no, I'm sure I got nominated, but, be content and happy with that, because you're not going to win it. I mean, Norman Reedus is here. All these other amazing actors have gotten, other games and nominations before. So I didn't really like fully think that I was going to win.
Yeah.
But then I was like, fuck it. Like, you've made it this far with manifesting, and it's come true this far. 5 years later, you got the nomination. Now you just got to make sure that you get the win. And so I remember like a month, from when I got nominated, or like a little bit after, I would just, meditate and manifest every morning that on April 2nd, I was going to, hear my name get called out, and I was going to win the BAFTA. And of course, our own minds are so tricky that even after manifesting, I was like, no, but it's not true. Like, get ready, get prepared for actually not winning. Like, it's no reason we're talking about. We're probably going to give it to him because he has such a big following. Like, it's more convenient that he gets it, But I was like, no, shut those thoughts up, because if you doubted for even a second, you're like, no, but you actually know that you're not going to win. That's doubt and fear, coming into your brain, coming into your manifestation and speaking out into the universe and getting manifested. Basically, if you already think about it like, no, I'm actually not going to get it, then you're already manifesting that you're not going to get it, and you don't really want it that bad. But no, I was like, I'm going to get it. I don't care. I'm going to get it. 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 And then on April 2nd, on the day of, I remember I was so afraid. I didn't watch it with anybody other than myself. It also, COVID had happened. So it wasn't, we couldn't meet up at anyone's place. But yeah, I was so nervous watching the TV. And yeah, I remember just being when they started calling out the category, I was like, no matter what happens, I already won, meaning getting this far, getting nominated, it's already a big enough win for me. But I was like, no matter what they say, I didn't want to feel down the rest of the day. So, I was telling myself, I've already won for getting this far. But then they called my name and it's like, yeah, I think I have the reaction.
And the BAFTA goes to Gonzalo Martin.
Make your own rules now. If we surrender, they will separate us, Daniel.
Yes!
I've seen it. I love, you literally jump in, which I would be the exact same, man, if I wanted that part.
And I was literally holding on to my, and suddenly they call my name, wait, that's my name.
And they cut to Norman Reedus and he's just crying in a corner.
That would have been funny, yeah. And honestly, I missed not going to the event.
Of course,
I was really looking forward to, and just receiving the BAFTA. But 2020 was a crazy year for the entire world. So
and still, to be fair, I think if anything, what the takeaway from that is understanding that. Because as you say, in the back of your head, you're always like, this person will probably win it because of politics or because of this reason or because of that reason. And what's nice is when you won, for me, what that would signal is no, this was based on merit. This was based on the performance given, not for any other reason. Because as you say, if it was weighted in favor of this person's... he was on The Walking Dead, for Christ's sake,
Right, yeah. Because I loved him on. Yeah,
same. But I think it gives you that confidence of knowing this was a win based on what I did, on my skill in this profession.
Yeah, no, and it feels amazing. And whenever I second out myself, which happens a lot, just so the audience knows, I just tell myself, honestly, it happens a lot to me where I'm maybe I'm not good enough of an actor. Maybe I suck. Maybe I should stop doing this. And then I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You have a BAFTA. What are you talking about? What other recognition do you want? Just chill. The opportunity will come when it has to come. But don't stress and don't just talk yourself down, which I do a lot. But yeah.
I think all creatives to some extent have that. I mean, I've been doing the filmmaking for 5 years now, and like that, every time, let's say if a film isn't as successful as I think it could be, then my brain is just stop, just get a day job, give your family a normal life. They don't want you to be chasing a stupid dream, and but then like you say, there's that part of me that's God damn, because I've got a script back there that I want to see made, and I will do everything that I will manifest it into existence. You know what I mean? I won't take no for an answer. It's so important. It's so hard. And I'm so glad you said all this in this interview, because it's something that I always try to say to people is that this industry is tough. Film, games, TV, they're all tough because it is highly competitive. But you have to have self-belief, which is the hardest thing to have in this industry, with all the kickdowns you get. And you have to have just an unshakable drive, just
and to add on to that, my last piece of advice would be not only self-belief on yourself and drive and passion and not giving up on your dreams, but what I've noticed the most to survive this industry for the past 5 years, the key important thing is to have an amazing group of friends. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't it could be one person, 2, 3, 4, but as long as you have that support net that you can go cry on and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm the worst actor ever, or, you know, just relate with them what you're going through. Really, that's the most important thing to survive this industry and like this town and everything that comes with it, you know, because it can get very tough, it can get very lonely, and if you're alone to pass through all those obstacles, it can get tough very easily, and you might want to go home very fast. So my key advice is get yourself a great group of friends that'll be there for you.
I mean, that's even the same to some extent here. Like, again, it's so detached from Los Angeles and the home of filmmaking and entertainment. But even out here, it's the same. It's such a pipe dream when you're a little, like I imagine for you growing up, like you're like, I'm from this little place that is not known for anything like this, but I want to be a player in this bigger world, bigger field. And I'll tell you quickly that I was meant to go to LA in April for a premiere of my second feature film. And
Nice.
It was all planned. It was going to be a Chinese Man Theater premiere.
Corona.
COVID came along and it was like, it's going straight to VOD now. It's just going out on Amazon Prime and a few other platforms. And it was like, God damn it, that was my moment. But like you, right, I've started to say everything happens for a reason. I started this channel because I couldn't make film stuff, and I've loved doing this channel. It's helped me so much. It's helped my guests so much. So I've started to go like, look, there will be plenty more films to go off and have the LA premiere with and all that. Just for now, enjoy where life has brought you. Yeah.
And if anything, it's another excuse to have to just make another great film that gets, you know, nominated or put in the Chinese theater to have to come. Yeah. And for me, like, just gives me, missing the BAFTA awards just gives me another excuse to have to go and win another BAFTA, because I have to go to the BAFTAs for sure someday.
I can't wait to see you win another BAFTA and accept the award in person many years in the future. And also, if I do get my big premiere in LA for one of my movies in the future, you will be on the guest list, and I expect to see you there, sir.
Thank you so much. I definitely will show up for sure. Thank you.
Gonzalo, to kind of close this out a little bit, where can people kind of follow you on social? I'll put links in the description, but if you could just let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. I only have Instagram, and I actually have a YouTube channel as well that I'm trying to like build and grow. Awesome. My Instagram is I'm Gonzalo Martin. I am Gonzalo Martin. And my YouTube channel is Sailing the Spirit of Adventure. Ooh. I believe that's the name. And it's just my sailing channel, and where I do my other adventures. It's kind of slow right now because I've just been busy with other stuff. Yeah. But I'm hoping to one day just really pull my full attention on it and develop that channel to a big YouTube channel.
Sailing the Spirit of Adventure is an awesome name, so I'm definitely going to check that out. Also, I don't sail, but I'm fascinated by it, and like I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with boats, I'm obsessed with water, but I've never really done it. Like I've always wanted to. Every time I do anything, I'm always like, when I get enough money, I'm buying a nice boat, and that's going to be my big treat to myself, and I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to live on the water, like, you know. Nice, but so that would definitely be something that I will be checking out, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, no, it's honestly amazing, and that was exactly my own train of thought as well. I was like, when I make a little bit of money and I can like get a boat and start sailing, I'll do the course and I'll do anything necessary to just go ahead and be able to do it and fulfill my dream. And now I live on the boat, and I haven't been happier ever since.
That is amazing. That's more of that beautiful manifestation. I love it. This has been one of my favorite interviews. And I say that from a place of like, there's a lot of inspiring stories and stuff in this, because as I say, being somebody in this industry and seeing so many of the rough edges so often, like the stuff that doesn't work and the fall downs, and the hearing these stories of, you know, like you coming, you know, to America and effectively manifesting your own dreams and making them come into reality. It's so inspiring. And I got to be telling all of my actor friends and everything to watch this as well, because it's going to be like, guys, get off your ass and manifest your dreams. Like, stop sitting around waiting for the big film.
Manifest and work on them. But manifesting is an important part of it.
Yeah, because that's one of my biggest issues with like some amazingly talented friends of mine that I have, etc., is that it's kind of like, I've done the 8 short films and they've been really good and stuff, but I haven't gotten a Marvel film yet. It's like, it doesn't work like that, bro.
No, it really doesn't.
It's like, get on the next flight out of this tiny country to LA or Vancouver or London
and hustle for those dreams.
Yeah. Especially as an actor. I think as a director and writer, you have more of a chance of doing it from abroad. But yeah, as an actor, go to where the work is.
Yeah, for sure. The opportunity, chase the opportunity.
I'm going to say this one last time because I feel like it's super important to say, but honestly, there's very few performances that for me hit me in such an emotional way. And for me, your portrayal of Sean Diaz is one of those performances that I'm going to, and I'm not saying this to fluff you up or bloat your ego or anything like that, because I don't do that. Anyone that knows me would tell you that, like, as I say, I champion what I love and anything else I don't. But it is one of those performances that will stay with me because it opened my eyes in a lot of ways to the injustices that, that can happen to people like Sean. And especially at this time and everything that's going on in the world, more people need to play it and experience that and open their eyes to how people of color are treated and seen.
I definitely agree. You couldn't have put it in more perfect words.
We're both going to start crying. I'm going to stop. Gonzalo, I'm going to thank you so much again. I'll just say quickly as well, guys, links in the description to Gonzalo's YouTube and Instagram. Go and follow on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. And also, if you want, here just down below, Gonzalo down there, there's a subscribe button thing and a like, and it would be awesome if you could do that.
Absolutely. We'll hit it right now.
Okay, guys, that's it. I'll see you back here again soon for another Let's Survive interview. I want to thank Gonzalo again for his time, and I'll say what I say at the end of every episode, which is let's survive together and peace out. Thanks so much, Gonzalo.
Thank you so much.